Hello everyone. Suppose your mother has told you to run some errands from a local supermarket where you have to buy some groceries. Now you enter the supermarket and then you cannot find the things you need. When you go to the aisle of dairy products, you see it is stacked up with clothes. And then you go to the spice section and you see there are beverages over there, right? It will be a very big problem for you to find out what you want, right? Even if the supermarket has what you need, you cannot find it. So like that, when scientists need to map out animals and take notes which animal stays where, you have to have some organization so that you can easily find out where it is, right? Scientists have some techniques which they use to organize this nature's supermarket. Now, what are the basis of the classification? Okay. Now, firstly, we can see that body shape, right? Whenever you go to a place, what do you first look at? The people over there, right? How are they dressed or how they look? Just like that, scientists also first classifies animals through their body shapes. It is the first impression. For example, there are cylindrical animals like hydra or flat animals like flatworms. Again, in case of another basis of classification is the level of organization. Not all animals are very complex, have very complex structures. Some can be easily distinguished, some have complex structures. Like the tissue, some have cellular levels, some have tissue levels, and some have organ levels. For example, in cellular level, like sponges, they only have a small cluster of cells in them. Again, in case of tissue levels, we can think about a jellyfish, and in case of us, we humans are very complex and we are in the organ level. Again, if we look at it, the third one is the way of living. Now, not every animal is free living. We can categorize them in as a free living animal and as a parasite. If we think about us or a small child who lives in a rural area, he is a free living person, right? He depends on the foods that are from outside. He can bring out his own food. On the other hand, the parasites can be found inside of his gut, maybe, and those parasites are like an invading guest in a buffet, and they take up all the nutrients that are present in the kid's stomach, which may lead to that kid's malnutrition. Then if we look at the germ layer, think about a cake. When you are building a cake, the number of layers will affect how it will finally look. Just like that, the germ layer that we can see in the embryo will determine what kind of animal and how it will look. For example, it can be triploblastic or diploblastic. In case of diploblastic, the DI refers to 2, which means that diploblastics will have only 2 layers. On the other hand, the triploblastics will have 3 layers. Again, in case of symmetry, are they balanced? Like, it can be asymmetrical, they can be symmetrical, like bilateral symmetrical or lateral symmetrical. The word asymmetrical, from this word we can understand that the word A, it indicates a negativity. So asymmetry means it is not symmetrical. Its example can be a sponge. On the other hand, if we think about bilateral symmetry, we can think about ourselves. If we divide us in 2 parts, we can see that each part of our body are mirror images of each other. Again, in case of metamerism, some animals like arthropods have segments in their body. For example, if you think about the train as a huge worm, every single compartment is a individual segment in the body. In case of animals, we can think about centipedes or earthworm. Again, stigmatization is like certain parts of the body of some animals are designated to do some similar work, works. For example, head, thorax, abdomen. Now, coelom. Coelom means cavity for organs. Now, coelom can be an animal can be acoelomate, pseudocoelomate, or coelomate. Now again, when we talked about symmetry, we talked about when the asymmetry refers to something that does not have symmetry. Same as this, acoelomate means it does not have a cavity. Again, in case of pseudosymmetry, pseudocoelom, the word pseudo refers to something fake. So pseudocoelom means something that does not have a fake cavity. And in case of coelomate, it has a cavity. And the easiest example of coelom is us. We humans have a cavity in our body where all the organs are kept. And finally, we can see notochord. Well, notochord is something that you will find in the embryo, and later in life it can turn into a spinal cord. So we can finally say that animal classification brings order to the diversity of the life and Now, when you, me, everybody in the animal kingdom are different from each other, and by this classification we can identify. So next time when you see an animal, you can go beyond its appearance and think about how complex it is, how it evolved, and how it lives. So that is it for today. Thank you so much.